Hello, everyone. Jason Navarre here and on the platform of Vertical Anchor. And as a reminder, Vertical Anchor, the intent of it is just to help you develop personally. No simpler way to say it than that. I just want to help you develop. So a subject today that I would hope to cover and share some ideas on is perspective. Perspective is a term that might be unique or new to some people, but as it's very simply defined, it's the state of one's ideas. It's facts known to one. And so your perspective is the way that you experience and interact with life. That's the lens in which you see the world. And if you'd be here in a little bit around dinner time, you'd hear my daughter probably say, as we're encouraging her to eat or try something new, you'd hear her say, "Dad, people have different taste buds, you know." So, she at an early age of 7 recognizes that there are differences between people, and we all do have different perspectives. But part of what I wanted to share today is why is that, right? Like, I might not be everyone's cup of tea, and I'm not asking to be, but why? Right? So what actually shapes and forms our perspective? It's largely shaped by our experiences. It's largely shaped by the environment that we grew up in. And we have some influence over that, right? Because I know the position will come, or the argument might be, but we have free will. You do have free will, but I would make the case that you have free will within the limitations of where you have developed your perspective to, right? So unfortunately, there are certain things that we are programmed to do based on our upbringing, based on what we've kind of inherited from our parents, good and bad, right? And also our early on childhood experiences, good and bad. And at some point, most people recognize and they look up and they're like, man, I do that just like my dad did it, or I do that just like my mom did. And again, it's either good or bad, right? But as you recognize that, that's the first step in either accepting it and wanting to continue down whatever that path is, or continuing to do it that way. Or you say, you know what, I don't know if I want my, moving forward, my future, I don't know if I want to continue to operate that way. And so it takes awareness to begin with, right? And so you might also hear the idea of the unexamined life is not worth living. You've heard that quote. And again, I don't know who to attribute that to either. But that can be looked at as negative, and they've got a lot of opinions on it and a lot of philosophy around it and saying what that means. But the way that I interpret that is from my own perspective. Am I really examining the way that I behave? Right? Am I really examining the actions and the thoughts that I allow to influence my perspective? Because I do have influence over that to the extent that I give attention to it. Am I focused on it? And so the main purpose of this today is really just to bring to your attention and bring to your mind the idea that it benefits you to become aware of the way that your perspective has been shaped. And then I'd also invite you to consider other people's perspectives, because that's human. That's growth. That's one of the ways that we grow and expand our perspective, is to invite in and consider other people's perspectives. It's not the only way, but it is a large way. Other ways might be through books and through movies, and like I mentioned earlier, just through experiences. So hopefully this might trigger that you are a malleable, changeable, influenceable person, and that shapes your perspective. But what I'd ask you to do is give some time and attention to thinking about, how do you want those experiences to impact your perspective? So you have the choice. You have free will to either allow those things to to come into your experience and sit with you, or you have the freedom to allow those things to come into your experience and maybe just let them pass on, right? Just let them go. So be diligent and maybe filter some of how things come into your mind. And so be intentional and be purposeful about the ideas that you allow to occupy your mind, the thoughts that you allow to occupy your mind. And that only stands to help you grow and help you develop as a person, as a friend, as a spouse, as a parent, whatever roles you play. The more time and attention you give to developing your inside, developing your internal, the better you'll experience life, the more improved perspective that you'll have. So let's sign off with the idea of give some time and attention to improving your perspective. And I listed out a few different ways that you can do that: books, experiences, movies, paying attention to other people, and letting them have some influence. But that doesn't mean completely abandon who you were before that, but know that other people's perspectives can be healthy and uplifting to you. So focus on good content, focus on good ideas, and hopefully this message today finds you in a great place and you're able to take something out of this that is fruitful and helpful for you. I love y'all. See y'all in the next video.